Hey guys, Matt Guzman here, back with another video, and today's going to be about how to get the Personal Management Merit Badge. So, just a few things to know about this merit badge. It's one of the longer merit badges I've talked about in a previous video. It also has many word definitions that you need to know, and it has you keep track of your spending. It also takes a minimum of 3 months to complete, and in order to complete it, you need to be active with it and be consistent. So, number 1 says do the following. 1A is choose an item your family might want to purchase that is considered a major expense. 1B says to write a plan how your family would save money for the purchase identified in requirement 1A. 1B has 3 things. 1B1 says to discuss the plan with your counselor. 1B2 says to discuss the plan with your family. And 1B3 says to discuss how other family needs must be considered in the plan. 1C says to develop a written shopping strategy for purchase identified in requirement 1A, or the item. 1C has different parts as well. 1C1 says to determine the quality of the item or service by using consumer publications or consumer rating systems. 1C2 says to do a comparison shop for the item to find where to buy the item for the best price. 1C2 says to do the comparison shop for the item, and to do that, you need to provide prices from 2 different sources, call around, study ads, sales or discounts, determine if you can buy the item used, and determine if you should wait for a sale to buy the item. So the major expense item I chose was golf cart for batteries, and a golf cart actually needs 6 batteries. So we first looked on Amazon.com, and because of the 6 batteries, the total order was $1,400. And then we looked on PowerStride battery, and that costed a little over $1,000. Then there was Interstate batteries, and that cost $1,200. This one was a local one, so it costed a little under $1,000. And batteries and bulbs, since it's local as well, costed $800. 2 says to do the following. 2A is prepare a budget reflecting expected income, expenses, and savings, like your allowance, gifts, or wages, and you do that for 3 consecutive weeks, and that's the 3 months. 2B says to compare the expected income with expected expenses, and you can use a spreadsheet like this to organize it. So you make an estimate of how much you would spend and how much you would gain, and then as the days go by, you actually mark it down on the budget plan. 2B1 says if the expenses exceed budget income, determine steps to balance the budget. 2B2 says if the income exceeds budget expenses, how will the excess money be used, like a new goal or putting into your savings account. 2C says to track/record actual income, expenses, and savings for the same 13-week period that you have budgeted. Once the 13 weeks are completed, present the results to your counselor. 2D says to compare your budget with the actual income/expenses to understand when the budget worked and when did it not. And then with your counselor, discuss what you might do differently next time. Alright, so here's me keeping track of what I'm spending and what I'm saving. So a little bit of background information. I don't have an actual job, but I get paid $40 a month to clean the pool, and using that money, that's what I use to keep track of things. So you can see there's the transactions I've made. So let's go to my savings real quick. Here are the payments that I've been getting. December, $40, February, $40, and then I get interest paid because of the savings in the bank. The savings account in the bank, they use my money, and in return they give me interest back. So pool payment, $40, pool payment, $40, pool payment, $40. So out of the 3 months, those are the 3 payments I got. And then scrolling down to the spending. Alright, so don't look at the top, look at the bottom, and it says I went to a movie theater at December 31st, and the ticket cost $10.16. And then a little while later in January, I went to Walmart and I bought a bicycle light. That costs almost $20. And then Amazon Marketplace category in toys, I bought a Rubik's Cube for $60, and that was the Rubik's Cube there. And then there's the February 28th. These two are the same thing. That's just a payment. That's what went into my spending. So I put $40 into my spending account because I wanted to use it to buy the $60 Rubik's Cube. So keeping track of it, it looks like I had $235.07 in my savings, and in my spendings, I had $65.08. Equals at the end $300.15. So that's really all you have to do after the course of 3 months. You just keep track of what you're buying and what you're taking in. And then after 3 months are done, you use it to compare to your estimated budget, and you add it all up to the final amount. 3 says to discuss with your merit badge counselor 5 of the following concepts. So the 5 concepts are A, emotions you feel when you receive money. B, your understanding of how amounts of money you have with you affects your spending habits. C, your thoughts when you buy something new and the thoughts about the same item 3 months later. And with that, you also need to explain the concept of buyer's remorse. D is how hunger affects you when you're shopping for food items like snacks or groceries. E is your experience when purchasing the item after seeing/hearing advertisements, or did the item work as it was advertised? 3F is what happens when you put money into a savings account. G is charitable giving, which is explain its purpose and your thoughts about it. And H, how you can better manage your money. So out of those, you need to pick 5 of them and discuss it with your counselor. 4 is to explain the following to your merit badge counselor. A, explain the differences between saving/investing and any reasons for using one over the other. B is the concept of return on investment and risk and how are they related. C is the concepts of simple interest and compound interest. 4D is the concept of diversification in investing, or diversification. And E is the importance when you save/invest for retirement. 5 says to explain to the counselor what investments are and how each investment works. So A, there's common stocks, B, mutual funds, C, life insurance, D, certificate of deposit, or CD, E, a savings account, or F, a U.S. savings bond. So as I mentioned before, I have a savings account, and how that works is you put your money into the bank, and the bank uses that money, and in return, they pay you in with interest. Even though it's low, it's still something, and since it's a bank, it's more efficient to put your money in there as well. 6 says to explain to your counselor the types of insurance and how they work. A is automobile, B is health, and C is homeowners/renters, and D is whole life and term life. 7 says to explain to your counselor what a loan is and what interest is, and how the annual percentage rate, or APR, measures the true cost of a loan. 7B says to discuss the different ways to borrow money. 7C says to discuss the differences between a charge card, a debit card, and a credit card. 7C also has you do what are the costs and pitfalls of using these financial tools, and explain why it is unwise to make only the minimum payment on a credit card. 7D is about credit reports, and you're supposed to discuss why personal responsibility can affect credit reports. 7E is for you to explain ways on how to reduce or eliminate debt. 8 is demonstrate time management. So in A, you're supposed to make a to-do list of activities/tasks in the coming weeks. So like homework, chores, or personal projects. And then you list them in order of importance to you. After listing the tasks, you need to make a 7-day calendar or schedule. You put in your set activities that you made and plan where you would do all the tasks from your to-do list based on your set activities. So like putting the times in on when you think you're going to do them. 8C is to follow the planned 1-week schedule and keep a daily diary or journal of 7 days of the activities. Write down when you actually completed each task on your to-do list and compare it to when you scheduled them. 8D says with your counselor, review the to-do list, the 1-week schedule, and your journal. Then you understand when the schedule worked and when did it not work and why. Then you discuss what you might do differently. 9 says to prepare a written project plan on paper. It's not a real-life project, but it's a written one. And you discuss the completed project plan with your merit badge counselor. Once that's done, you have to define the project, as in, like, what is your goal? Why do you want the project to be done? Then B, develop a timeline for your project, and you show the steps you take from the beginning to the end. Then you describe your project on how you're going to do it, what you're going to do it, and what materials you need. 9D says to develop a list of resources and identify how they will help achieve your goal of the project. And E, develop a budget for the project. Number 10 says to do the following. A, choose a career you might want to enter after high school or college, and using that career, you need to discuss the needed qualifications, education, skills, and experience. And finally, 10B, explain the associated things to pursue the career, like the tuition, supplies, and room and board, and explain how you could prepare for these costs and how you might make up for any shortfall. Alright, so for number 10, it says to choose the career, and I went on this free career test, and I took it, and the results came back, and it has the interest level and the different career off to the left. So that means how likely am I to be interested in those careers. So my top one is education, which is 83.33%. And then going down the line a little bit, around in the middle, it says technology, and my interest level is about 58.33. And going down, here's my work environment results. So that's what it looks like there. And going down to the career of education, careers in education include a lot of teachers, college professors, guidance counselors, tutors, librarian, trainer. So it gives information on the career level, and it breaks it down into the different careers you can get, the education needed for it, and some more background information and how to research it. So what I said before with the technology, scrolling down to technology, it says if your free career test revealed high scores in technology, you have a multitude of careers to choose from. So digital technology, mobile technology, computer engineer, computer installation tech, and it says the education that you should go for as well. You want to take as many computer courses as you can. So it gives education, the different careers, and what research you should do. And that's basically what you have to do for number 10, and that's what I did as well. And then once you find the specific career you want, you can search up the wage, the specific education for that career, and then yeah. So those are all the requirements for personal management, and some of the stuff is just defining, but the only thing that gets people is the 3 month of you need to be active and consistent. Because if you don't write down what you're spending and what you're not spending, then it can get hard to track it if you're trying to rush the 3 months. So just remember, if you're doing the merit badge, to every time you spend something or every time you get money, write down what day and how much money you have at that moment, and you need to keep doing that for 3 months. So that's the only hard thing about it. The rest is just probably looking up a lot of the definitions online and getting enough time to talk with your counselor. So thank you for watching my video on how to get the personal management merit badge, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.